Okay, but is he here now?
No.
Judge, he's at work. Do you want me to ask him to log in?
Yes, sir. I require people to log in.
Okay, he's going to have to come to court, Judge. He doesn't have access to Zoom, so I'll ask him to physically appear in court.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. You're talking to me as an officer of the court. I'll go ahead and excuse him this time. Next time, he better be here.
We'll get everything resolved by January 12th, Judge.
Okay. Now you said that this is set for trial January what?
12th and the 399th.
Okay. What say? Nicole, reset this for a week after the 12th in our court. So that'll be the 19th of January.
Judge, may I be excused?
Hold on. Is that a holiday or not?
The 19th is a Wednesday, Judge.
I know, but okay. That's good. 19 January, 22.
May I be excused?
Yes, sir, you are.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Welcome. 648-048. Somebody answer that. Mikam Martinez. Mikam Martinez, and that's Stephen Harkowitz.
Judge Steve Harkowitz here, and I don't expect Mr. Micah Martinez. I filed a suggestion of death in trying to make contact with him. I spoke to his grandmother, and she informed me he passed away at the Downtown Baptist 3 to 4 weeks ago and had services through Rodriguez Funeral Home. I called Rodriguez Funeral Home. They confirmed with me that they handled a pupper's cremation through Bexar County and that he died on October 20th, 2021. I don't have a copy of his death certificate, but I went to online and confirmed that that on 10/20/21 there is apparently on file a death certificate,
Okay.
but I don't physically
All right.
have a copy.
That's fine. What we'll do is, Nicole, if you can make a note on the file or get that noted, we'll act accordingly. May you rest in peace. 648,
Thank you.
and you're excused, Stephen. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too, Judge.
648-090, State versus Antonio Garcia Jr., and that's William Simmons.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, William. How are you?
Good. I have Mr. Garcia. Mr. Garcia has a felony pending in 379. I'm not sure if the court wants to take a look at that, but the 379th has not set it for a new court date. However, it is indicted, so I would anticipate that they will be rather soon.
Okay, Nicole, would you reset that for probably 60 days? And is Mr. Garcia with us, William?
Your Honor, we've reached out trying to get in touch with him. It was another one through pretrial. I believe he had the PR bond, and we have not been able to make contact.
Well, then he'll be free.
On this, he picked this one up since the felony. They weren't picked up at the same time.
Nicole, don't reset it then. It's going to be a failure to appear unless he shows up within a week. 6483, is this all you have, William?
Judge, have him, and I believe I saw Vernon Carmichael, but I'm not sure if he's supposed to be on there, but I'll wait until the court gets to his name.
All right.
This is
648-328, State versus Vincent Villalpando.
Honor, he is present on Zoom. He's filling out his plea papers now. That's going to be an obstruction plea as soon as we get done.
All right. We'll try to get it done within a reasonable amount of time.
Thank you, Judge.
Take care. 648-649, State versus Richard Torres, no attorney. 648-649, Richard Torres. Absent. 650-643, State versus Joel Medina, attorney, Ronald Funari. Joel Medina, absent. Ronald Funari, no appearance. 651230, State versus Errol Carrier. Attorney, Oscar Hernandez. Errol Carrier is marked absent. Oscar Hernandez, no appearance. 651768. We've called it already for Mr. Barrera. Next page. 652082. State versus Miranda Price. Attorney, James Hunt.
I am present for her, Judge. I have not been able to get in contact with her, and she's also listed as fugitive.
Right. So we'll mark her as a failure to appear. You got anything else this morning, James?
I do, Judge. I've got two more. The first one is I've got Isaac Celestino that I'd like to confer on. That's 658, 826, and 827. And I also have
Hold on. Let me
Okay.
mark this bucket. 658826, Isaac Celestino. James Hunt. Okay, on this other one, we're not going to do anything. It's a failure to appear. On
and
Mr.
I do have one more.
Celestino, you're gonna confer on him?
On him, I would like to, but I have one more.
I know. Just hold on a second.
Okay.
All right. You are listed. And now what's the other one, James?
653-994.
653. Going backwards. 994. There it is. Ramirez.
I have not been able to get in contact with her either.
Well,
The number listed is disconnected, and the number that pretrial services has, the person just said no English, and then I asked for the name, and she screamed no English, and hung up.
okay. Apparently she's not English. All right, James, then you're excused, looks like. Do you wanna
Actually, could confer with Celestino.
on Celestino?
Yes, I'd still like to confer with him. But, yeah.
Okay, sure. You are marked to confer on Isaac Celestino. Yes. 653759, State versus James Hernandez, Sean Sheffield. James Hernandez, absent. Sean Sheffield, no appearance. 65399, I think that was yours, James. All right. 654883, State versus Jennifer Martinez, and that's Oscar Hernandez. Jennifer Martinez, absent. Oscar Hernandez, not appearing. 655472, State versus Destin Pearson, no attorney.
He's here in the courtroom, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Pearson. Do you have an attorney yet?
I petitioned the court on my last court date for an attorney, and I wasn't granted one yet.
Okay, we'll look into your application on that. Stick around. 657546, State versus Stafford Cooper. Attorney Gammon Gwynn. Okay, Gammon has medical issues. We're gonna have to give him a new attorney. Nicole, however, it might be nice if he showed up. Stafford Cooper.
I'm here.
Okay, Mr. Cooper, good morning to you. Your attorney, Mr. Gwynn, can no longer represent you at this time because of medical problems. We're going to give you a new attorney. You'll stick around. Ms. Medrano will visit with you and give you the name and contact number for your new attorney. You got that? Hello,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cooper.
I got it. Hello,
Yes,
Oh, him again.
can you hear me?
I can hear you. 658826 State versus Isaac Celestino. We've got that checked off. 659404 State versus Gerardo Garcia. And that is Raul Trevino. Gerardo Garcia.
Good morning, Your Honor. I am here.
Good morning, Mr. Garcia. Your attorney, Raul Trevino. Have you heard from
Yeah,
him?
he told me Mark Rutledge was gonna step in. I don't know that he's not here.
Well, there's nobody answering, so for right now, there's no appearance on your behalf. We'll wait and see if they decide to show up. Stick
Oh, Your
around.
Honor,
Hello.
Your Honor. Yes, this is Mr. Garcia again. Gerardo, I have a 10 o'clock doctor's appointment with my, it's a very important doctor's appointment. I have to schedule it 4 months in advance. I'm gonna have to get up.
Who is this?
Gerardo Garcia. You just talked to, my attorney didn't show
Okay.
up.
Right. All right, you're excused at this time, Mr. Garcia. We'll see
Thank you
about
very
a
much.
date. Take
Okay.
care.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too. 660115 State versus Jacqueline Trevino, attorney John Robinson.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, John.
Your Honor, Ms. Trevino, we have not had contact with Ms. Trevino for some time. So unless she's on the Zoom today, I don't believe she'll be making it.
All right, well, we'll have a failure to appear. We'll see what happens.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor.
That's all you got?
Yes, sir.
All right, then you're excused. Have a good weekend.
All righty.
Good Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Have a happy
660
Thanksgiving.
Thank you. 660720 State versus Juan Saucedo. And attorney is Michael Sawyer. Juan Saucedo. Absent. Michael Sawyer. No appearance at this point. 664879 State versus Fidencio Gonzalez. Attorney Scott Martinez.
Yes, Judge.
Fidencio
And my client
Gonzalez.
present.
I'm present.
Good morning, Mr. Gonzalez.
Morning, Your Honor.
I notice yours shows Fidencio Gonzalez the third.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You might want to make that distinction so we don't go out and arrest your pop or your grandpa.
He lives in California.
Scott, well, that's even worse. Scott Martinez. Scott Martinez.
Yes, Judge. May I go into a breakout room with my client, Judge?
Okay, Ms. Medrano, would you accommodate them? They need to break out. 665618 State versus Genaro Rivera, attorney Robert Dittman. I had been led to understand that Mr. Dittman was not going to be taking any more cases. I think they were trying to get Bob Hicks to take him. Is he on there for the record, Ms. Medrano? And you are muted, by the way.
Okay, no wonder you couldn't hear me. Judge, Mr. Hicks is at a conference, so they did call the court this morning, and I went ahead and let them know that I'll go ahead and reset it.
Okay, and Gerardo Rivera?
Yes.
He's
Mr.
not-
Hicks will be the one taking over, so this is going to be the first appearance with Mr. Hicks.
Okay, but the defendant has not answered my point.
No.
Gerardo Rivera. Marking him absent. 665637 State versus Jason Alvarez. No attorney. Mr. Alvarez is a fugitive and he is consistent because he failed to appear on our case. He's got 3 felonies pending. Final page, 667898 State versus Jose Rocha, attorney Joseph Appel.
I believe Mr. Rocha is present as well as I am. And Your Honor, that's going to be a plea to an obstruction. I know that I've received the paperwork and have executed it. I believe Mr. Rocha should be working on his. And if he has any questions, obviously,
I lost you.
into a breakout room, et cetera, but if we can get all that knocked out.
All right, accommodate him, please. Nicole?
I'm sorry, Judge, I couldn't hear any of that. I just heard somebody else talking.
Yeah, there was some interruption.
Somebody was on a phone with an open mic.
Okay, which one are we on?
667-898.
Okay,
Jose Rocha, and Mr. Appel is here. That's gonna be a plea. Mr. Appel, did you say you needed to go in a breakout with Mr. Rocha?
Only if he has questions about the paperwork that we discussed yesterday. I know I received it this morning, so he should have received it this morning as well. If he has questions about it, then I'll get in the breakout room with him, Your Honor. Otherwise, if he's executed it, then we should be ready to go as soon as you are.
Mr. Appel, we're gonna put you in breakout for right now. I will see to it that as soon as we're able to, we go ahead and handle your plea.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
Judge, there is that nuts and bolts seminar going on at the courthouse that some of these attorneys may be at, just
Okay.
FYI.
I got you, thank you. 669-062, State versus Baden Morales, William Davidson. Baden Morales, now he appears to have been accepted into the pretrial diversion. So that might be an issue, Nicole. 670-687, State versus Mia Maldonado, attorney Brian O'Donnell.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, ma'am. Brian?
I know he was with another case. He said he was going to be here at a later time.
I am not understanding what you're saying. I'm sorry.
He was with another client, another prisoner he mentioned. I called him this morning at 8:30. So he said he was going to be running between courts.
Okay. And 670-822, State versus Javier Villarreal, and that's Brian O'Donnell also. Javier Villarreal,
Sir,
He's in the courtroom, Judge.
good morning.
good morning, sir.
Stick around, your attorney should show up. He's pretty good about that.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. We don't have any add-ons, Nicole?
no, Judge.
All right, then that constitutes the docket for this morning. After a rough start, we got through it. Any attorney have to report at this time?
Your Honor,
All right, let's see, Dale Hill.
good morning, Judge. I apologize for being late. I was having some computer issues.
Is that possible?
Yeah, and I had to do it on my phone this morning, so I apologize.
No problem. What's the case number that we're talking about?
651801.
51801 should be page 4. Where is it? It looks like that's been scratched off, Mr. Hill.
Okay. Yeah, we have a bunch of felony cases that are pending our jury trial. So
You don't have to worry about it. It's being reset.
okay, thank you, Judge. Good seeing you.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Have a good Thanksgiving. Attorney,
Good morning, Judge.
another one that answered.
Armando Martinez, Judge, good morning.
Armando Martinez.
I was
case-
with Judge Boyd at the 187, Judge.
Okay, which case number are we talking about?
A 64-069 and 70. 64-0469.
That's it, bottom of the page 2. Juan Tellez did not answer.
Okay, I gave him all the information, Judge. I'll call him so that he can log in, and if I may confer with the prosecutor, Judge.
I will list you for conferring. Be aware your client is not here.
I'll make sure that he gets in, Judge.
Attorneys,
Good morning.
Attorneys, okay, Aldous Stroud.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Judge. We're here on Mr. Reyes, Catarino Reyes, ready for a plea when you are.
Well, we'd be glad to be ready, but he did not answer when I called the docket.
Judge, he called me a couple of times. He was having some login issues. Pardon me. He called a few times. He was having some login issues. He is there now. I saw him earlier.
All right, very good.
But he was trying from the onset, and he had some issues logging on.
I'm laughing because we had a hell of a start this morning with my computer. I couldn't get rolling on this one. So, okay. Next attorney to report.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, I conferred on Rosalinda Hernandez. Do you need the case number?
Yes, ma'am.
It's 621342.
You're here on behalf of
Andrew Del Cueto.
621. 340. Yes, it is. Okay. Rosa Hernandez, what have you determined, if anything?
We received an offer. If we could just have it reset 2 weeks so we can meet with our client and go over it, that would be perfect.
Ms. Medrano, what do we have in about 2 weeks, maybe 3, whatever is
Sorry, Judge, what was that?
2 or 3 week recall? What date is that? Is it too loaded, or I recall that 2 weeks was pretty tough.
Yeah, I don't know what Patty's calendar looks like right now, Judge. But I mean, if you want her back in a couple of weeks.
Okay, well, just give me the 2 weeks for Ms. Hernandez. What is the date?
For 2 weeks,
Yes, ma'am.
that's gonna be, hold on. The 10th? Oh no, the 3rd.
The
That
3rd
would be
of
the
December.
3rd.
That sounds good.
All righty.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Ms. Wood. Take care. Attorneys. Oscar Hernandez. The late Oscar Hernandez.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Oscar.
I sent an email this morning to Patty, but I guess she's not here with you in court, so
she's out
I did
today.
announce to Patty. But I'm gonna CLE downstairs. My
Okay.
client is Arrow Carrier, 651-230 and 231, sir.
651-230. He did not answer, Mr. Carrier. Are you here now?
No, he's been calling me every 2 minutes. He doesn't know how to call in on the Zoom, but I will tell the court that these 2 cases will be TIC'd at his felony PSI, which is set for the 1st of December.
Okay, so recall this on the 3rd of December, Ms. Medrano.
What's the case number?
651-230. What's the other one, Oscar?
651-231. They're back to back, Judge.
Okay, that's part of this. Okay, it's together. So the 2 of them, Ms. Medrano, 651-230 and 231, put them both for 3 December.
Okay,
Thank you
both
much,
of those,
Judge.
right? Yeah.
Okay, Oscar, have a good Thanksgiving. Your excuse, sir.
As well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Attorneys, I see Scott Martinez. You need to report, Mr. Martinez.
I was trying to get into a breakout room with my client, but he never got in. I just been talking to him through text. I'm still trying to get into a breakout room with him, but he's having a hard time doing that.
Is he present?
He is, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Medrano, would you please accommodate Mr. Martinez and his client? What's your client's case number and name?
Give me a second.
Scott?
Yes, Judge, I'm looking it up. It's on the 5th page.
On which page?
Fidencio Gonzalez.
664879. Ms. Medrano, would you accommodate them by placing them in breakout?
Do you need to be in a breakout room with your client?
Yeah, I went into the breakout room, but he never did because he couldn't figure it out or whatnot. Can you put him in the room?
No, I didn't know you wanted him in the room.
Well, he does. Can you do that, please?
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Did you need to speak with Catherine because she's in your breakout room?
Let me speak to Catherine first.
Okay, go back in your breakout room.
Okay.
All right, attorney, Mr. Barrera.
Hello, Judge. I'm here.
Yes, sir. You got your hand up. What can I do for you?
Yes, Judge. I have an update on my cases. The first one is on page number 2, 637-466.
Yes, sir.
On this one, Judge, the state is tendering a dismissal.
Over your objection, I know. Okay.
Next one's on page 3 at the very bottom, 651-768.
Postman.
Yes, Judge. And on this one, the state needs some more time to review the discovery. So I'd ask for a reset. If we can do December the 6th.
Would you reset for December 6th, Ms. Medrano?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Barrera.
Next one's on page number 5 at the very top, 658-243.
Right.
On this one, Judge, the state's given me an offer. I'd like to review that with my client. So if we could reset it for December the 6th for, we can do a final pre-trial conference.
All right. Ms. Medrano, you said 658-243 Garcia for 6 December.
Yes.
Then you've got 661-880 Francisco Lu.
Yes, Judge. And on this one, pretty much the same announcement. State's given me an offer. I'd like to discuss that with my client. If we can reset it for December the 6th, we can do a disposition. That should be fine.
Is that going to be reset on the same date, Ivan?
Yes,
ma'am.
Nicole.
6 December for disposition on Mr. Lu, L-O-O. He must be British. Anything else, Mr. Barrera?
That's it for me, Judge. May I be excused?
You are excused. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Judge. Yeah.
Ivan, it's Kayleen.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
And Judge, also, on my docket, it shows a 1:30 Zoom plea with an interpreter with you, Ivan. Do you know about that?
Yes, that would be on November the 22nd, Monday.
Oh, okay.
It's not today, right?
No. The one I have set it's in County Court 5, but it's not till Monday for Miguel Martinez.
Yes, it's just strange because it's on my docket for today.
Oh, no, it's for the 22nd.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Attorneys need to report. Hello.
Judge,
Anybody?
this is Attorney Martinez. I'm just awaiting a breakout room when there's a chance, Judge, with the prosecutor.
Armando Martinez to confer.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Anybody else, attorney?
This is Joseph Holscher, Your Honor. I'm covering for Robert Gebbia on Andrew Martinez. I think he was recalled from yesterday on a violation report. And we have a doctor's note.
What's the case number you're referring to, sir?
I'm sorry, Judge, I don't have it offhand. Let me find it real quick. If you want to get to somebody else while I look it up.
What's the name?
Andrew Martinez. I've been covering different courts this morning, so I'm bouncing around.
All right, attorneys, anybody else?
Yes, Judge, it's Mark Rutledge. I'm covering for Raul Trevino on case number 659-405.
659.
405, that's Gerardo Garcia.
Page 5, Judge.
Gerardo Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
And who are you covering? Who's covering for Raul Trevino?
Mark Rutledge, Judge.
Mark Rutledge. Okay. And what are you doing, if anything, on this?
I don't know anything about the case, Judge. I just wanted to see if I can get a reset if that's possible.
All right. We'd already excused Mr. Garcia.
Judge, I have that cause number now.
Okay. Reset
Andrew.
30 days. Ms. Medrano.
Okay, Judge.
659-404.
Mm-hmm.
That's Gerardo Garcia. That's what Mr. Rutledge is answering for. Reset it 30 days.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Rutledge. Somebody
Thank you,
else
Judge.
was trying to report.
It was Joseph Holster again, Judge. I have the cause number for the recalled bond violation on Andrew Martinez. It's 660826. But don't believe it's on your docket because it was recalled from yesterday.
No, it's not. What's the name of the defendant?
Andrew Martinez. I believe that he got a violation report for not reporting. And we have a doctor's note indicating that he had gone to the doctor, tested positive for strep throat, and had been told to stay at home.
Okay. Then we'll reset him. We'll need to check, make sure there's not a warrant issued, Nicole. 660826. If there is, I will recall it. We'll take care of that separately.
And Your Honor, who should we send our copy of the doctor's note to? Should we send that to Patty for the file?
Send it to Patty, yes.
Okay.
And he does have a warrant already, Judge.
That he does?
Andrew Martinez?
Yes.
Yes, he's on a warrant status.
Okay, and it's out of County Court 5?
Correct.
Okay, recall the warrant.
Yeah.
Reinstate bond and reset him for 30 days.
Your Honor.
Yo.
Joseph Opeltier, my client's Jose Rocha. And he has informed me that he has not received the plea paperwork to go over and sign. So if I need to give an email for him to Nicole, I will do so in the chat so we can get the plea moving along.
Idea.
The cause number, Judge, for him is 667898. I believe he's on the last page.
Right. Okay. Ms. Medrano, would you accommodate him by?
Okay, I don't understand what he's asking. You want to send me the paperwork?
Well, I did the paperwork. It was emailed to me, and then I hit the sign and everything goes up to y'all, I guess, but it's supposed to go to Mr. Rocha so he can do it. He's never received it, is what he's telling me.
He said he didn't get it?
That's correct.
Hmm.
So I can, and I'm not sure, I just want to make sure that the email address I have, I can chat it to you and make sure it gets over there, but I'm not sure how, because you should be able to see that mine's been done, but he hasn't done his, right?
Well, actually, since Patty's the one who sent it, I can't see any of it. I would have to restart the whole thing.
So we'll have to resend it all?
I mean, that's what I would have to do because I can't see what Patty has sent.
Okay. Because I know
Joseph, send the email to the prosecutor.
All right, I'll send the email to the prosecutor and see if that goes over that way then. And I'll also have to zoom in to check in with the 226 judge here in about another 10 minutes.
Did your client check his email to make sure he didn't receive it? Because as soon as you sign it, it goes directly to him.
Supposed to. I called him and I'll check again. Could you put me in a breakout room with him real quick then, please?
I don't know who that is. Who's your client?
Jose Rocha.
Okay,
Joseph, tell him to check spam. Tell him to check his spam box.
Will do so. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Espinosa, are you reporting?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Are you reporting?
No, I'm not recording, no, Your Honor. Oh, reporting. No, I was just telling Joseph, he was saying his client was having, didn't have the email. I told him to check the spam box.
I just saw you on there now. All right, we're gonna take a break then. Anybody got something I absolutely wanna report at this time?
Your Honor.
Hello?
So this is the date I got, but I didn't hear my name on the docket when you were calling names. My name and my.
Hello?
Yes, hello?
I'm listening.
Okay, so yeah, my lawyer's not in the courtroom, and this is the date I got last to be, and I just didn't hear. I've been here the whole time. So I just wanted to make sure like what the correct date was, so I didn't have warrants or anything. Stop it.
Do you happen to know your case number?
No, sir. My lawyer's name is Les, and
Your lawyer's name is what?
Les, and last name Chaitowicz or something. Yeah.
Sahanovich. I think you're on the wrong day.
I think so too, Judge. I don't see his name anywhere.
No, you're not on. In fact, your name is a little bit unusual. So I remember that you, I think it was yesterday you were supposed to be here. Yeah, it's not on today's docket. All right, court will be in recess for at least 15 minutes. Sounds like somebody's objecting.
Judge, good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to report, Judge, I'm back. The state has offered pretrial diversion, and I would ask for a continuance so that I can apply. But I can wait whenever you come back, Judge.
I won't give you a continuance unless you file a motion.
I would ask that it be rescheduled, Judge.
Okay, now that's different. Armando, what's the
Yes,
case?
yes.
What's the case
It
number
is
you're talking about?
640469 and 70.
664.
640469, Judge. And 640470. I believe you said it was on the second page, Judge.
Yes. Okay, so say again, you got an offer.
The offer is for pretrial diversion. They're recommending that, so I would need to apply, Judge. And I would ask time so that I can prepare the applications and submit them.
All right, I'm gonna give you a 60-day reset for PTD.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Medrano? 640469 and 640470.
Yes, Judge, I got it.
All right, court's in recess.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, hey, how you doing? So grateful it's Friday, man.
Oh, I know.
How do you feel?
Okay, my allergies are a little funky today, but not horrible. How are you feeling?
Okay, I just want to get done with this and, I'm in John's court and I gotta go to the one. That's good, let me go.
This is Jeffrey. Does Robert know I'm in court? It hasn't hurt me. Oh.
I'll open it. Yeah, I want to see. No, she's there. Nicole, are you there?
I am, Miss Garrow, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, I spoke with my client and they've offered him an alternative, either deferred adjudication or the good guy packet, because he didn't get accepted in PTD. And he wants to try to do that driver safety court, the proof of the job, and get some letters of recommendation and be eligible for the PTD. So I guess, what does he have to do to get the criteria? Like, who can advise him on that? Or do I have to get it someplace?
I am not too sure about that.
I'm not either. I've never had this before, but that's what they offered. I guess we can reach out to Beatrice and see if, and see what we have to do.
Right, we could do that.
Yeah. So I'm going to need a reset. I don't know if you can do that or I have to wait.
We can reset.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, just give me 1 second.
I'm sorry?
Just give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, what's the case number on this one, Gail?
It is 644302.
Six, 4, 4.
302.
Okay, I see it. So I'd say maybe about 60 days, so he has time to do all that.
Okay, that sounds good.
And I'll email you the actual reset date this afternoon, okay?
Okay, so you'll email me the date?
Correct.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a good day. Thank you.
You too.
Oh, thank you, Nicole. So Ms. Maldonado will be reset till the 24th and she's excused.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna walk upstairs to talk to Mr. Villarreal.
Okay, and just so that I know, you have your paperwork, or what are you needing?
It looks like I filled out the paperwork. It would be then sent to my client. We'll talk about it, fill it out, send it back. It should be ready for.
Okay, but I think maybe you just received the plea agreement from the state.
And discovery.
Okay, so I need to send you the actual plea packet.
Great.
And
Thank
I'll
you
do
so
that
much.
this afternoon, okay?
Yes, and they're offering Mr. Villarreal the PTD, but I haven't talked to him about it yet, so I'm gonna walk upstairs. My understanding is he appeared in person.
Okay, all right, that'll work.
Okay, hold on. I'm in court, okay? Hold on.
Have a good day.
Hold on, I'm in court.
Sean.
Nicole, do you know when we're going to start doing pleas? I have to go to County Court 8. I just don't know if I need to wait here or what.
I'm not really sure. Judge has not came back from his break yet. Do you want me to text you if he gets started?
I don't mind waiting. Should I email Patty to see if my paperwork's come through?
Yeah, because well, we can check with him. Once he hops back on, he'll be
Okay.
able to see if he's received it, then it obviously went through. You guys already signed it, you and your client.
Okay, all right, I'll
It
sit
goes
tight.
straight to judge, yeah.
Nicole,
Yes.
this is Joseph Appelt and on Jose Rocha. I believe the paperwork is in, so I know we're waiting for the plea and everything. And I know Mr. Belichick was in front of me at least. I have to go to the 226, but I also have to pick my daughter up from speech therapy, and that takes about 30 to 40 minutes. So I'm going to have to leave and then come back at about 11:15. But my client will still be here.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
not a problem. That's not a problem. Go ahead and do it.
Thank you, Judge.
I've been back for a while, but I have 28 Adobe signs to review, and I'm continuing to do that. So just hang in there, folks.
I'm sure one of Mr. Rocha's is in there, so I'll be back in about 40 minutes then.
All right.
Thank you. But Mr. Rocha, stay on.
Yes, sir.
Nicole, are there any actual pleas that will go as soon as we get them signed up?
Judge, I believe just whatever was scheduled for today. I've had a couple attorneys say that they've already completed their part as long, even with their clients as well. So
One was Catarino Reyes.
we just have to make sure that you've already received everything on your end, Judge.
Another one was Mike Valachek with Via Pando. I've been working on that already a moment ago.
Okay, and Mr. Mauer's case as well.
I've got two, Judge, a Terrence Watson and a Jeffrey Contreras.
Watson and who?
Contreras, Judge, Jeffrey Contreras. And Contreras has two cases. One's going to be a term unsat and then grant probation on the driving while license invalid.
Mr. Sheffield?
Okay, hang on. Mr. Mauer,
Yes, ma'am.
the one on Contreras, you guys already did paperwork on that?
Yes, we signed it.
You signed it? Okay. And your client also, right?
Yes, ma'am. And Watson as well.
Okay.
Nicole, Scott Martinez.
Yes.
Can I go into a breakout room with my client, Fidencio Gonzalez, please? He never went into one of them, so can you
You
put
never
him in
did?
the room?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, let me see.
Well, let me try it. I'll wait.
Let me try it again. I'm gonna put you on a different room.
Okay.
You said, what's his name?
Fidencio Gonzalez.
Okay.
Room 1. Okay.
Okay, let's try it again.
Searches on your person and resident at the request of your parole officer. Jeff should be in my car that I spoke to before we drove by. Game's over, Mr. Paul. And once that ballistic report comes in, I don't need you anymore. It's as simple as that.
He not in? I can talk to Catherine, maybe. Catherine, can you hear me, Reed? This is Suzanne in the courtroom.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I've got an Andrew Lasoya here, and Amy Owen was on his case. She worked out the plea bargain. But Patty put me on it because Amy couldn't be here today. And I don't know. I mean, I know what the plea bargain is, but it doesn't look like there's any paperwork, and he's here in the courtroom.
I have the paperwork sent out, but I had sent it to Amy. So do you want me to just replace you on that paperwork?
Yeah, and let me ask you, since he's here in the courtroom, and like I said, I brought my iPad figuring we'd have to sign it electronically. Will you still have to send it to his email and he pulls it up on his phone?
I will need to, yeah.
Let me get that from him. Hold on. Andrew, what is your?
I think it's.
She has a secondary.
Never mind. I was gonna say, I think I might have already sent it to him. Let me see. What's the case?
Oh, that Amy signed it? Okay.
Let's see.
I mean, if Amy signed it and I can just stand in for her, that's fine too.
No, it hasn't been signed yet.
Okay.
And I have her as him. I need your email and the client's email.
Okay, my email, just put in your computer CATT and it'll bring me up because we've emailed each other before.
Uh-huh.
Let me get Andrew's.
What about our paperwork, Catherine? Do we need to send that too?
I don't know
Amy
if that's
told me
been
to
sent.
Show up, Nicole. I don't have anything.
This might be one that if we want to come back next week, just because the paperwork is sounding a little confusing.
Oh God, that means I came down here for no reason.
Oh, okay. We can. I'm sure we can get it done today.
There's
But
problems.
Nicole, I don't think
know if is the judge's Adobe sign still acting up?
Yeah, this is the kind of situation I really don't like doing it very last minute. I don't know if Patty even sent anything out. So we're basically just having to redo the whole thing. I don't like anybody to just hop on and do a plea without being ready and signed. But I'm gonna need everybody's information, everybody's email. So your client's email, and we're gonna do that right now.
Okay, Nicole, I'm just gonna text you that information.
Okay.
Hey, Nicole, this is Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, we've been chatting a little bit regarding that case. I just need to reset it, I guess. We're probably going to do the plea in person. We can do with him and the judge on Zoom. We just need to be in person for my client.
Okay, can you just discuss that with the judge real quick because we have him down as a no-show this morning.
Oh, well, and that's why I've been texting.
It was Patty, right?
Emailing Patty.
With?
So,
yeah. Just let him know.
okay. Is he coming back then?
Yes, he's actually on. He's just going through his plea paperwork. So if you just
okay, thank you.
Judge, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good morning, Judge.
Let him talk nasty stuff about me and I'll catch him doing it.
No, we ain't doing all that.
Never, Judge, never.
I appreciate that. I'm just teasing. All right, guys. I think I've got everything on pleas that we're gonna do right now.
Judge, I apologize. I needed to approach regarding a case that was set for this morning. I thought it had been reset. We had actually discussed it earlier this week because we were going to need to do it in person, and you said you were going to be in trial, so we had to reset. And I've been emailing Patty, but I don't know if she got him or not. I'm not sure. but I just didn't want a warrant going out on my client.
What have you got?
It is James Hernandez, 653-759.
Is that on today's
It's
docket?
set for a plea.
That's signed.
Hold on,
And we were going to reset it, but I never got a reset date, Judge.
Well, that makes it a little bit difficult. Is it set for today?
It was set for today, but it was supposed to have been reset.
Okay, James,
That's why I got on here to check in and found out that I guess it hadn't been reset.
Okay, so you need it reset is what you're trying to tell me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then. We will reset it. How much time do you need?
Judge, whatever we can do, I guess he will need to come in. He doesn't do the Zoom, so he wants to do it in person. So if I can, I guess, get a date that we can do it there in person with you.
Well, I'm here most days. Let's do it in about 2 weeks, Nicole.
Now do 2 weeks. Okay.
That'll be the week after Thanksgiving.
Okay. Reset 2 weeks
Reset.
in person. Everybody will be in person?
Yeah, I'll probably be there just so I can do the paperwork with him there in person.
Okay, well, so that way I know if I'm sending paperwork through email or not. If you're gonna do it in person.
You can
physical
email it to me,
paperwork.
or I don't, whatever's easiest. I'm sorry, whatever's easiest for you.
Okay, if everybody's gonna be in person, then I don't need to send anything out.
I can just do it there when I get there
Okay.
with him.
Okay, so back to the question. What 2 weeks from now is what day?
2 weeks from now is.
That would be
think
the
we have
third,
the-
Judge, but
the
is there any
third,
way to do it
yes.
on a different date? I have about 6 different cases that morning.
Well, you want the second or you want
The second would work, or the first, whatever is easiest.
this
We can do the second, Judge.
2 December reset.
Okay,
All right.
thank you, Judge. We'll see you on the second then.
Okay, Sean. Have a
Sean,
good
I'll
day.
email you the actual reset.
Perfect. Well,
Okay.
y'all have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for
You
the help.
You too. Don't gobble.
Try not to. Take care.
You too.
Nicole,
Yes,
did you get that motion I sent to you?
yes, I did.
Okay.
Just give me a second, hang on.
That's fine.
I'm turning on.
When the judge has a moment, I'd like to approach him on that and also get the trial setting on Mr. Camp too.
I was just to chat my email to Catherine.
I don't.
Here I am. Okay, guys, who do we have for pleas? And Nicole, are the papers ready?
I believe everything has been sent to you, Judge. I just sent the one for Suzanne Kramer right now. But I
Either
believe everybody
Suzanne-
else should already be ready to go.
Either
Who is-
Suzanne or Nicole, can I get that client's email address?
Yes, I'm gonna text it to you right now.
Okay, perfect, thanks.
All right, let's try it again. Tell me who is in fact ready. Ms. Medrano?
Judge, I believe everybody's ready. I don't know for sure. I don't have any access to Patty's paperwork, so
I'm trying.
if you signed everything, then everything's ready to go.
All right, so that means Steven Strouch, are you ready? Steven Strouch on Catarino Reyes. No reply. Robert Marr on Terrence Watson.
I'm ready, Judge, and I also have Jeffrey Contreras, and you should have paperwork on both of those.
Don't scramble me up here. Terrence, that's 610-286. Terrence Watson. Plus all right. Now, what's your second one, Robert?
Jeffrey Contreras, Judge.
That's case number what?
It is
And the number is?
629936 is the new case that he's pleading on.
Six two nine nine three six. I don't see that rascal on our docket. Is that?
It was a
Oh,
recall.
there it is. I see it. And it's driving while license invalid, right?
Yes, sir. He's on probation with you currently, or has been forever, on a DWI, and the plaintiffs to terminate him on that and put him on probation on this case.
Okay. Who else is ready on their plea? A thunderous
Judge
silence.
Scott Martinez.
Scott Martinez, tell me your case number.
664879. Do you have the paperwork for that, Judge?
664879. That is Videncio Gonzalez.
My case is ready too, Judge.
Talk to me.
It's 648-328 Vincent Villapando.
648328.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
We're ready, Your Honor, on Mr. Reyes.
Give me the case number.
No.
On Reyes, give me the case number.
Coming up, Judge, right here. 604617. 604617, Mr. Reyes, we're set for a plea.
Catarino Reyes. All right, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases so far. Anybody else? Last call. Anybody else on a plea that's ready? All right.
Judge, I don't have a plea, but I have to seek a trial setting and approach you on a motion to travel when you have a moment.
Let's get it out of the way because it's going to take about 15, 20 minutes to get all these pleas done. Who's speaking?
Claudine Espinosa, Your Honor.
Claudine.
Good morning,
Hi.
Your Honor.
Good morning, dear. Tell me about what we're going to do on Daniel Cantu. What is
Daniel
it you wish?
Cantu. Yes, Your Honor. Could we get a trial setting for that, please?
Trial setting. Set it for trial, Nicole.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, Ms. Claudine, I'd have to get back with you on that. I'm not sure exactly what date Patty is using, but I will email you this afternoon.
That isn't a problem.
Ms. Espinosa, it will be a trial docket on Friday and see who goes. And those who don't will be on call. All right. So what else did you have, Ms.
Judge, I forwarded a motion to travel to Nicole. This is a client who her great aunt is not doing very well, and the family is gathering for Thanksgiving, and she just wants permission to leave and be with the family from November 23rd to November the 29th.
Is she on probation or is she a pretrialer?
She's currently on probation, Your Honor. Yes.
All right. Now, probation on what? What is
she is on that is a good question. I want to say it's a DWI. Ooh. Can I give Nicole, can I give you the cost number?
Yes. Let's see.
I didn't pull the file. I'm
All
sorry.
right.
It's 597.
Let's assume that it's a DWI. I will grant her permission, but she must immediately upon return, she has to submit a UA.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's the only condition. Otherwise, she gets permission to travel. Anything else, Ms. Espinosa?
No, Your Honor. That is it. Thank you so much, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, you are. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's take care of the pleas then.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Kayleen, you ready?
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
Your name should be Kayleen R. Rivera. Kayleen R. for Kayleen Ready Rivera. Court calls the following cases. Case 610286, State versus Terrence Watson. Original charge, BWI, blood alcohol 1.15 or higher. Robert Marr, you ready?
I am, Judge.
629936, State versus Terrence Watson, DWLI, driving while license invalid, attorney Robert Marr. 664879, State versus.
My Mr. Contreras, could you take him off your lineup? I have to talk to Ashley again about that case. There's been a bit of a hitch.
Hello.
Yes. Can you hear me, Judge?
What was it you were saying?
If you can take Mr. Contreras off the plea lineup, Judge, there's been a hitch. I'll have to talk to Ashley about it. But I'm ready on Mr. Watson.
All right, 664879, State versus Fidencio Gonzalez. Charges prostitutions. This is Scott Martinez.
Yes, Judge.
Scott, you ready?
Yes, Judge.
All right, 648328, State versus Vincent Villapando. DWI, blood alcohol content 0.15 or higher. This is Michael Valachek.
Yes, we're ready, Judge.
604617, State versus Catarino Reyes. The charge is indecent exposure. The attorney is Stephen Strouch. You ready, Stephen?
Yes, Your Honor, Aldous Strouch
All
here.
right.
How you doing?
I'm Steve, gentlemen, the five of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different gentlemen. Watson, Gonzalez, Villapando, and Reyes. Would you please make sure I can see you and raise your right hand? I see Villapando, I see Reyes. Where's Watson?
Oh, good Lord.
Where's Watson?
Judge, he should be logged on. I'm actively chatting with him right now.
I see Fidencio Gonzalez, I see Villapando, and I see Reyes. Mr. Watson, where are you?
There, could Could he be, there's a man named Moto G Pure. Could that be
That
him?
him, that might be him.
I don't know if he can hear us.
Is that,
Let me see if I can see him.
He's with the cap on.
yeah, please remove your cap, sir. Is that
He
your
can't
client?
hear.
Is that your client, Mr. Martin?
I'm trying to see him, Judge. I don't.
He's got a white beard.
He's an
cap on.
African-American, white beard, cap on.
I've been the guy that was having breakfast earlier for all of us to watch.
No, Judge, that's not him.
Okay.
Let me find, Judge.
If I don't get him on, Robert, I'm
Let me
gonna
see
take
if I
him
can tell
separately.
which one of my clients.
Well, because I can't send it to her from me over there. So she might not know who it is. So if I do it on here, at least I can say it. Come here, Suzanne. The screen? Oh, God, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
I don't see him, Robert. All right, I'm gonna have to leave him out. Mr. Gonzalez, Mr. Villapando, Mr. Reyes, again, raise your right hands where I can see them. Do each of you solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Mr. Gonzalez, you're muted, sir.
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. Put your hand down. Mr. Villapando.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Put your hand down. Mr. Reyes.
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. Put your hand down. Don't mute yourselves unless you've got a racket going behind you. The three of you.
I know.
Before
I'm
we,
muting myself. I'm muted. I'm muted.
the three of you have agreed to a plea bargain. But before we do that, I'm going to cover certain things, rights and protections under the law. First of all, these apply to each of you individually. First, you have a right to remain silent. That means that each of you cannot be required or compelled to give any kind of statement, answer any questions, or submit written paperwork that has your signature, especially papers that admit or confess to wrongdoing. You understand? You have that right, each of you. Mr. Reyes.
Yes, I do.
Villapando.
Yes, I do.
Gonzalez.
Yes, sir, I do. Understand.
Robert, were you able to find Mr. Watson?
Yes, Judge, he was having problems. He's logging back on right now. I don't mind waiting, Judge. I apologize.
No problem. I know how it goes. We've had all kinds of problems with computers. All right, gentlemen, each of you has a right to a jury trial individually. That means that you and your attorney, with participation of the state, would be able to select 6 people from a jury panel of disinterested citizens who would hear all the evidence and testimony and whatever is presented. They would decide whether you are not guilty or whether you have been proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. It's called the right to a jury trial. Each of you has the right to confront witnesses. That means if either of you decided to go to trial, you would have the right to, you would have the right to cross-examine, question, or challenge any witness the state would put up. That's called the right to confront witnesses. Each of you would have the right of appeal. That is a right wherein you and or your attorney would demand that a higher court review the official record of this proceeding. That official record is being prepared by an official court reporter, Ms. Kaylin Rivera. The demand would be to have the higher court review the record and evidence and everything involving this hearing in the matter and decide any legal challenges you wanted to make. I caution you that a right to appeal is a substantial right. However, it is difficult in that you have to provide the paperwork and content and you have time limitations. So each of you has a right to appeal. You also have the right to demand that you have a open public hearing in the courtroom. That right is not being allowed right now because of the COVID pandemic. So each of you, it's my observation, has reviewed with the assistance of your attorney, you have reviewed and signed a document that identifies you individually and then says that you consent to the video conference of this hearing. I have explained these rights and protections. Do each of you understand what I have said? Mr. Villapando?
Yes, I do, Judge.
Mr. Gonzalez?
I do.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes, sir.
All right. The documents that are part of this proceeding, in your case, each of you has reviewed with your attorney. Did anyone have any questions that are not answered regarding the paperwork on your case? Mr. Gonzalez?
No, everything's
Mr.
understood.
Reyes?
No, sir.
Mr. Villapando?
No, sir.
All right, let's talk about some of these papers. One of the most critical is a document that identifies you each respectively and independently. And it is titled Defendants Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. That document reviews in writing what we've been talking about, and that is your constitutional rights and protections. The document also informs you of several other important things, including the fact that you have been informed that whatever deal you've made with the state, I, as the judge, have the authority and the obligation to say yes or no. I can approve it or I can reject it. I also have the authority to give you any punishment that I want to give you within the proper range for the offense to which you plead. I can give you a punishment within the range that is heavier than what you agreed to. If I do that, or if I reject your deal outright, then the law would allow you to start all over again and nothing you've said or signed would be used against you. Is that clear, Mr. Reyes?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Villapando?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, sir.
It is not clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, I have also provided a document that identifies you individually, and then it tells you it is, I certify. In fact, the title is Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. I inform you and certify to you that each of you is participating in a plea bargain, and therefore you will not have a right of appeal. You're giving that up as part of the plea bargain. Is that understood, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Villapando?
Yes, Judge.
All right, state, is each one getting probation? And if so, tell me what kind Mr. Gonzalez will receive.
Yes, Judge, he is receiving deferred.
All right, deferred adjudication. How about Mr. Villapando?
Judge, that one is straight probation.
All right. And Mr. Reyes?
It's deferred as well.
All right. Gentlemen, each of you has signed an application for probation. Two of you, as mentioned, Mr. Gonzalez and Mr. Reyes, will get deferred adjudication, and Mr. Villapando will get what we call straight or regular probation. Probation is a written, legal, binding written agreement with the court. That agreement essentially is that any jail sentence that may be assessed will be suspended. On the case of the deferred adjudication, it is a very beneficial one to each of the two of you, because what happens is, even though you will be pleading entering a plea that is sufficient by itself for me to convict you, I will not. Instead, I'll place you on a deferred or suspended probation where so long as you live up to 100% of the conditions of supervision, your case will wind up being dismissed without a conviction, without a finding of guilt and without a conviction under Texas law. So, did each of you know and understand what you were signing when you asked or signed for probation? Mr. Gonzalez, on deferred adjudication, did you understand the form you asked?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Villapando, on the regular probation, did you understand what you were saying when you applied for it?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Reyes, did you understand?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, gentlemen, let's start at the top. Fidencio Gonzalez. State.
Yes.
What is the essence of the charge? Is prostitution?
Yes,
Yes, Your
Judge.
Honor.
Is there any motion on this?
There's no motion from the state.
Then what is the plea?
The paperwork is no contest.
All right. And Mr. Gonzalez, officially to the charge of prostitution, what is your plea, sir?
No contest, Your Honor.
You understand that a no contest plea is considered a guilty plea in this court and is sufficient for me to convict you.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Villapando. And state, is there a motion on this case at all?
Judge, on that one, there is a motion. We would move to add count 2 obstruction and then proceed solely on count 2.
Defense, is there any objection to the a motion to amend?
No objection, Your Honor.
And do you waive the 10-day notice based on amendment?
We do, and those waivers are also included in the paperwork, Your Honor.
All right. Then the court approves the amendments and the 10-day waiver. Mr. Villapando, to the charge of obstruction of a passageway, highway, or waterway, how do you plead, sir?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Mr. Valachek, is that what you want him to plead?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I accept your plea of guilty. Mr. Catarino Reyes, is there any motion on his case?
No, Judge.
Mr. Reyes, to the charge of indecent exposure, how do you plead, sir?
No contest, sir.
A no contest plea is considered a guilty plea in this court and is sufficient for me to convict you. Is that understood, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. In your cases, each of you, did anyone threaten you or intimidate you or promise you anything in exchange for your plea other than the plea bargain that you're offered? Mr. Reyes?
No, sir.
Mr. Villapando?
No, Judge.
Mr. Gonzalez?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then, Mr. Fidencio Gonzalez, I find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I do not. Instead, I am granting you deferred adjudication in accordance with the agreement that you made with the state. State, recite for me for the record, what is the punishment agreement?
Judge, this is on, I'm sorry, which defendant is this?
Mr. Gonzalez, 664-879.
Okay, Judge, yes, Judge, the agreement on this case is a term of 6 months deferred, a $300 fine plus court costs, all of which is probated, 24 community service hours, the AIDS awareness course, and the state would not be opposed to early termination at 3 months if all conditions are completed.
That is the agreement, Judge.
Mr. Martinez and Mr. Gonzalez, is this the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, how do you make a living What is your total income from whatever source?
Through my job, it is about 45 a year.
45,000 a year?
Yes, sir.
And where is this at?
Americrane Services, Americrane Rentals.
All right. I find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I do not find you guilty. I do grant you 6 months deferred adjudication. However, based on your income, I reject the $300 fine and fully probated fine. That fine is going to be $700 and is not probated. You will do 24 hours of community service restitution. You will complete an AIDS awareness course. I note that the state does not oppose a 3-month early termination upon completion of all conditions of supervision. Now, I have given you a punishment that is greater than what you agreed to. Therefore, you have the right to reject what I have done, and you can start all over if you choose. Please just decide and tell me before I finish with this hearing. Your supervisory fee will be $56 a month. Mr. Martinez, let me know something shortly. 648-328, Mr. Villapando, you have entered a plea of guilty to the charge of obstruction of a passageway, highway, or waterway. I find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I do not. Instead, I'm granting you the agreement that you made, at least to begin with, as decided between you and the state. State, tell me what, by the way, I find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I do not find you guilty. Instead, I am granting you deferred adjudication of how many months, state?
Oh, excuse me, Judge. It's on Villapando, it is 180 days, Bexar County Jail, probated for 14 months.
I thought this was a deferred. No, I'm sorry, you're right. Mr. Villapando, I misspoke. Your plea of guilty is sufficient to find you guilty. I find you guilty. And the punishment recommended by the state is 180 days, Bexar County Jail, probated for how long?
14 months.
14 months. Okay, proceed.
A $600 fine plus court costs, 48 community service hours, DWI education, victim impact panel live, the TAP evaluation, and ignition interlock for half the term.
Which is 7 months minimum.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Mr. Villapando, how do you make a living?
I work downtown at the Alamo.
And what are you paid, sir?
Roughly about 55,000 a year.
5,000?
55, yes, sir.
All right. I sentence you to 180 days, Bexar County Jail, probated and suspended for 14 months. Your fine will be $800. I don't agree with 600 because of your income. Do you have a bunch of children that you support?
No, I do not, Judge.
All right, then it'll be 800 unless you decide that you don't want to accept that. You'll do 48 hours of community service restitution. You will participate in good faith and complete the DWI education program, Victim Impact Panel Live, a TAP evaluation, and ignition interlock for 7 months. During those 7 months continuously, you're not to drive any other vehicle other than your own vehicle equipped with ignition interlock. If for any chance, any reason you have to drive a company vehicle, the ignition interlock will not be required on that while you're working. Your supervisory fee will also be $56 a month. Now, you and Mr. Valachek need to decide whether you accept my change in the fine, since it's technically an increase, and you have the right to refuse my increase. Mr. Reyes.
Yes, sir.
You have pled no contest to your charge. First of all, by the way, Mr. Gonzalez, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Villapando, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Judge.
All right, and Mr. Reyes, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir, I am.
Very good. I'm required to ask you that for legal reasons that your attorneys can explain. You pled no contest, Mr. Reyes. I find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I do not find you guilty. Instead, I am basically approving the recommendations of the state, subject to my review momentarily. Ms. Pollard or Haas, who am I looking at?
It's Pollard, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Pollard, tell me what the agreement is on punishment. Deferred adjudication for how long?
9 months,
9 months deferred,
a $300 fine plus court costs,
300 plus court costs,
48 hours of community service, and the AIDS awareness course.
anything else?
That's it, Judge.
Mr. Reyes, how do you make a living?
I work at the Children's Hospital, sir. I work at Children's Hospital San Antonio.
That was George Jetson, by the way.
Yes, sir. I just got a text.
Tell me how do you make a living and how much?
I bring in $60,000 a year, and I work at the Children's Hospital San Antonio.
Okay. All right. I find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I do not. I'm granting you deferred of 9 months. You will not pay 300. You will pay 800 plus court costs. You'll do 48 hours of community service restitution. You'll have the AIDS awareness program or course to complete. Your supervisory fee will also be $56 a month. I don't know how you guys, attorneys, succeeded in getting this kind of fine with the incomes that your defendants have. I admire you as advocates, but I will not approve those. Now, each of you, as you know by law, since I am giving you a heavier punishment than you agreed to with the state, that is my authority and my responsibility. You have a choice to reject it or to accept it. Mr. Fidencio Gonzalez Martinez, tell me what you've decided.
Well, Judge, I just wanted to inform the court a little bit about Mr. Gonzalez's finances. He does have some child support, about $450 a week. Comes out to about $23,000 a year. So I was hoping that the court would reconsider the $300 fine, if nothing else. And probating it would be the best option, of course.
All right. He has 6 months to pay. Mr. Gonzalez, you are under oath. You're telling me how many minor children are you supporting?
I have one in my home that I support. I have custody of my son. There's a daughter that lives in with mom. I pay the child support on her. And then there's 2 that are just graduated, but they still, still want stuff, and I still support them, with stuff. So I have two minor children. One in my house that is in my custody that I have to take care of, and the $450 goes to the one that's with mom.
Did I hear that recited for $450 a week?
Yes, sir. That's what they have me under right now, the child support.
All right, then for the record, I will reconsider. And I'll make the fine 400. I don't like, despite your obligation, the income that you have, I can relent and cut it down a little bit, but I also want to increase it a little bit. You do.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Financially, you do quite well. Is that acceptable or not, Mr. Martinez?
If it is acceptable to my client, then yes, Judge.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, yes, the 400, I can manage it, Your Honor.
All right. Well, you know, I salute you for taking care of your family. You guys take care of, all three of you have to report within 1 week to the, and don't forget we have Thanksgiving, so make it a week and a day. You have to report within 1 week to the offices of Bexar County Court of Law number 5 to have your thumbprints placed on the documents, in this case, as required by law. Also, each of you will remain here. Don't leave this hearing until you have met with Ms. Maricela Luna, who will start you off with the probation process. Mr. Villapando.
Yes, Judge.
I have increased your punishment. Do you accept it or reject it? Tell me now, Mr. Walichek, Mr. Villapando.
I accept it, Judge, the increase.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Reyes.
Your Honor.
I have significantly increased your fine, and you have the right to reject it.
And Judge, can I just, before he answers that, can you hear me okay, Judge?
I can hear you.
This is Aldous Strauch. On behalf of Mr. Reyes, Judge, he's always been here for all of his court dates, given that he has made a bond, will pay the court costs, will pay supervisory fees, has other financial obligations. He doesn't have minor children, but he helps out with some of his other family members. And given the nature of the offense, we would ask that you consider possibly a 500. We had agreed to 300. You had increased it to 800. We think with the nature of the offense, some of the other obligations that he has, including to this court, the court costs and supervisory fees, that you consider a $500 fine, Your Honor. I think he's willing to pay whatever it is that you order. We think 500 would be more in line with this type of offense. We just ask you to consider that. He's going to follow any and all conditions that you order, Judge.
I'll tell you what, I will reduce it to 600.
Thank you, Judge.
On the record, it'll be $600 fine. And do you accept that change, Mr. Reyes?
I flaked out, sir, on the computer, but my understanding the fine has been reduced by 200. I accept it.
All right, well, for the record, I've doubled it from what you originally had agreed to. State.
Yes, sir, I understand that.
All right, so it'll be $600, the rest. All right, gentlemen, stay out of trouble. You sound like you've got good jobs. You sound like you're good men. Behave yourselves and stay out of trouble. Don't come back here to this court with troubles now. If you come back here for recognition of doing what's right, wonderful. But don't get in trouble no more. You're too good a man for that. Mr. Don't forget to wait for Ms. Luna. By the way, the probation office is going to read to each of you your conditions of supervision. Each of you will sign them, and they'll put a copy in your hands. So you will know exactly what you can do and what you cannot do. Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Marr.
Judge, Mr. Watson's logged on and ready to go, and I wanted to see if we could recall Mr. Contreras for Tuesday, because I think Ashley and I are working out some details that I had not paid attention to.
I don't have a problem with recalling him. Ms. Medrano, would you recall, or officially we'll recall Mr. Contreras to Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
19, 21, the 23rd, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Thank you, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Reyes. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Have a good Thanksgiving if I don't see you between now and then.
You too, Judge. Appreciate it.
Just don't gobble.
Nicole, can you put me out in a room with the three?
I made you the co-host, Marisa.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, Terrence Watson, are you back, Mr. Watson?
He's there, Judge. Unmute yourself, Terrence. You're on mute. Take yourself off mute, please.
Yes.
There you are. Okay, Mr. Watson.
Yes, sir.
Kayleen, back to the record 610286 and 629936, respectively. State versus Terrence Watson. The 286 case is a DWI with blood alcohol content of 0.15 higher, alleged, and 629936 is a driving while license invalid. Present with the gentleman is Mr. Robert Marr. Mr. Watson.
I think that's the DWI, that's the one on Mr. Contreras, Judge. Mr. Watson just has the DWI.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Somehow I got this turned around. When you told me you had two cases,
That's
didn't
on Contreras. I've had one of those mornings, Judge.
Hey, no problem. Mr. Watson, you were
Yes, sir.
charged with WI extreme intox. Before we proceed, I'm going to briefly cover several rights and protections that you're afforded by law. Number one, you have a right to remain silent. That means you don't have to make any statement. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit written papers, especially papers that admit or confess to wrongdoing. There's a gentleman that's here with us. His screen says
Moto G Pure.
Yes. Sir, can you identify yourself? The African-American looks like with a white beard, goatee, and a cap.
Judge, I don't think he can hear us.
I don't think so either. Let me try sending him a chat.
Also, Judge, if we're gonna do another plea right now, I do think that Jose Rocha is ready as well, if you want to do them at the same time.
Who is that? Whom are we talking about?
Jose Rocha.
Here. Right. One more time.
I'm here.
What's the name?
Last page, first one on the last page, Your Honor, Jose Rocha.
Rocha, okay. What's the case
667-898.
637.
Oh, 667, Judge.
667.
898.
All right. Okay.
I believe all the paperwork should be ready, Your Honor.
No, it is. I signed it. Jose Rocha.
Nicole, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble moving Mr. Gonzalez to room 3. Can you do it for me?
Mr. Gonzalez.
Fidencio Gonzalez, yes.
He was already assigned to it. I'm gonna move you out of 1.
Okay, thank you.
All right. The court also calls case number 667-898, State versus Jose Rocha. Your charge is DWI, is that correct, Joseph?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And you are accompanied and represented by Joseph Appelt, attorney at law. All right, you
Yes,
two
sir.
gentlemen. You two gentlemen, before we continue with the process, you've each, it is reported to me that each of you has worked a plea bargain with the state. Each of you has certain protections and rights that are covered by law, that are given to you by law. First of all is the right to remain silent, which is the right that you cannot be required to answer any question, not required to make any kind of statement. You cannot be required to submit written paperwork that has your signature, especially papers that admit or confess to wrongdoing. You each have the right to a jury trial. That means each of you individually, respectively, can, with your attorney and participation by the state, select 6 jurors from a jury pool of disinterested citizens. Their job would be to listen to all the evidence and testimony and whatever else was presented by law, and they would decide whether you are not guilty or whether you have been proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. That's called the right to a jury. You have a right to confront witnesses. What that means is if each of you individually decided to have a trial, the state would have to submit evidence by way of witnesses. You and your attorney respectively would have the right to question, cross-examine, or challenge every witness that testify in your case. Each of you would have the right to appeal. That is something of a technical right. It is difficult because you have to know what you're doing a little bit. You'd have the right to handle it by yourself, but nonetheless, I inform you and warn you that on appeal, you have to submit the proper paperwork with the proper content. You also have the right to include in there the
Now you're on camera in court.
in the demand, you could demand that a higher court review the official record of the hearing for whatever legal challenge you wanted to make. And as I mentioned earlier, it is a difficult task because you have to also watch out and be careful and be aware of time limitations, but that's the right of appeal. Then you also have the right, each of you individually, to demand that this proceeding be held in the open public courtroom. Because of the COVID pandemic, we're not doing those right now. And in order to proceed, you have each individually had to review and sign a document that identifies you each individually and respectively and informs you that you do not have, that you are consenting to video conferencing this proceeding as opposed to being in the open public courtroom. Now, Mr. Watson, are you aware of the rights and protections that I have discussed with you just now?
Yes.
Pardon me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Rocha.
Yes, sir.
All right. Do either of you have any questions about the rights and protections I have just discussed? Mr. Rocha?
No, sir.
Mr. Watson?
No, sir.
Now, each of you in your respective case has documents that have been made part of this proceeding, this hearing. Those documents bear your signature. My question is simple. Did each of you sign those documents after understanding what they said and getting the advice and counsel of your respective attorney? Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Rocha?
Yes.
All right. Specifically, let me ask you about a document that identifies each of you respectively and individually, and it is titled Defendants Waiver of Constitutional Rights in Court's Admonitions. That document is full of information and recitations about your rights, about information that is critical. Did you read and understand that document and sign it, Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Rocha?
Yes.
Another document that's critical is one that I have submitted. It's titled Trial Court's Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. That document tells you that because you are each individually participating in a plea bargain, as a result of that plea bargain or as part of that plea bargain, you are giving up your right of appeal. Is that understood, Mr. Rocha?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Okay. Now, state, are these, what type of probation are each one going to get?
Your Honor, Mr. Watson is going to be getting deferred, and same for Mr. Rocha.
All All right, gentlemen. Each of you has signed an application for deferred adjudication probation. The basic is this: deferred adjudication probation is, first of all, a written, legal, binding agreement between you and this court. In exchange for your plea to whatever charge you are pleading to, this court will honor an agreement that I will not find you guilty. Your guilt or innocence or conviction, if any, will not be made of record so long as you live up to 100% of the conditions of supervision. If you fail or refuse to live up to the conditions of supervision, then the state may ask me to give you notice, bring you in for a hearing, at which time, if the evidence, in my opinion, is sufficient, then I can enter a conviction on your record of the charge to which you pled. And then you'll be looking at 100% of the range of punishment for the particular offense to which you pled. Do you understand what I have said, Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Rocha?
Yes.
All right. So, Ms. Pollard, tell me about Mr. Watson. First of all, what is the length of deferred?
Your Honor, the state actually has a motion in this case.
Pardon me?
The state has a motion,
Yes.
and that would be to waive and abandon the extreme intoxication enhancement.
Then proceed on.
DWI first, Your Honor.
All right. And then the deferred will be for how long?
12 months.
12 months. Okay. Mr. Watson, to the charge of DWI, well, excuse me, let me back up a second. The state has made a motion to waive and abandon the extreme intoxication and proceed on DWI first, also known as misdemeanor B. Mr. Marr, any objection?
No, sir.
There being no objection, Mr. Watson, you're no longer charged with extreme intoxication. You're now charged with a lower punishment offense of DWI first. To that charge, sir, how do you plead?
Terrence, take yourself off mute, please.
Yes, sir. I'm off mute. How do I plead?
No contest.
No contest. Okay.
A no contest plea, Mr. Watson, is considered a guilty plea in this court and is sufficient for me to enter a finding of guilt and convict you here and now. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Based on the agreement that you've made with the state, I honor that agreement. I find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I do not. Instead, I am granting you deferred adjudication of 12 months. State, recite for me the rest of the agreement that you are recommending.
Yes, Your Honor. A $500 fine plus court costs, 48 hours community service, restitution to DPS of $60.
DPS?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
DWI education, victim impact panel live.
I'm sorry, that was garbled.
DWI education and victim impact panel live,
Okay.
TAP evaluation, and ignition interlock for 6 months.
Mr. Marr, is that your agreement with the state?
It is, Judge. I just an oral amendment. I talked to Ashley, and initially in the paperwork there was a request from the state that Mr. Watson not be allowed to apply for non-disclosure once he completes this, and Ashley's agreed to drop that portion of the plea.
For the record, that portion of the agreement is abolished.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Moore?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Watson, tell me how you make a living and the total amount of income that you have of all sorts.
Yes, sir. For a living, I work at Amazon. I just started. I went about 12 months without being employed. I make about $30 an hour. I have 4 children, 4 minors, and then I have a stay-at-home wife that I take care of.
So you're making 1,200 a week
Yes, sir.
gross. 4 times 12 is 48, and a third is approximately 5,100 a month. Not bad. That's great. I don't think it supports 500, but you have 4 minor children.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. I find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I do not. Instead, I have granted you 12 months deferred adjudication. You're fined $500 plus court costs. You'll perform 48 hours of community service restitution.
Okay.
You will pay a restitution fee of to DPS. That's $50 state.
60, Judge.
Yeah, I don't like doing that, but okay. You will complete the DWI education program. You will complete the victim impact panel live, a type evaluation, recommendation subject to my approval. You'll have ignition interlock installed in your vehicle for 6 continuous months. During that time, you're not to drive any vehicle other than your own with the ignition interlock. Your supervisory fee will be $47 a month. You and Mr. Rocha will not leave this hearing until you've had time to visit with Ms. Maricela Luna that will start you off on the probation program.
Okay.
You are both required to come in within 1 week. Make it 8 days at this point. Come in within 8 days to have your thumbprint affixed on the papers of your respective case. Any questions, Mr. Watson?
No, sir.
Mr. Marr?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Rocha? State, do you have a motion on Mr. Rocha?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would move to waive and abandon count 1 and proceed solely on count 2.
No objection, Your Honor.
There's a motion to which there's no objection. The court grants that motion. Mr. Rocha, you are now charged with obstruction of a passageway, highway, or waterway. To that charge, sir, how do you plead?
No contest.
A no contest plea is considered a guilty plea. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And I could convict you on that plea itself. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
I find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I do not. Instead, I am granting you deferred adjudication, and I'll listen to the other recommendations of the state. State, tell me what they are as far as punishment.
Yes, Your Honor. The term of the deferred is 14 months. $500 fine plus court costs. 48 hours community service. DWI education. Victim impact panel. TAP evaluation. And 7 months of ignition interlock.
Mr. Appelt, is this your understanding of the agreement?
That is your understanding, Your Honor.
And Mr. Rocha, is this your understanding of the recommendations in the agreement?
Yes, sir.
All right, before I approve the rest of this, tell me how you make a living and how many dependents, minor dependents, if any, you have.
I work in dialysis and I have 4 dependents, 1 on child support, 3 live with me.
Excuse me a second. I have a doggone. Damn it. I have a hearing aids that go directly into my phone rings and it goes directly into my hearing aids. I'm sorry. Now, I've closed that down. Finish telling me what you were telling me about your income.
I'm a dialysis technician and I have four kids. One, I pay child support, $780 a month. And I make about $58,000. And I'm also a veteran.
If it helps, Your Honor, he works and he has been working for 10 years at the VA, Audie Murphy Hospital. He spent 4 years in the Army, which included 2 deployments to Iraq.
All right. Well, thank you for your service. All right. I'll approve all of the recommendations, including the fine. I find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I do not. You are granted 14 months deferred adjudication. You are fined $500 plus court costs. You will perform 48 hours of community service restitution. You will complete a DWI education program in good faith. You will do the victim impact panel. You'll submit to a TAP evaluation and recommendations subject to my approval. You'll have 7 months of ignition interlock installed in your vehicle. During those 7 months, you're not to drive any vehicle other than your own, equipped with the ignition interlock. Your supervisory fee will be $38 a month. And you too will have to report to the County Court of Law number 5 offices to have your thumbprint placed on the documents. Now, gentlemen, I'm impressed all 3 of you have some substantial incomes. I'm happy for you. Stay out of trouble, especially driving and drinking. The worst thing that can happen to you and your families is if you drive and drink and kill somebody or injure somebody, particularly your own family, but strangers would also be difficult because you'd wind up doing as much as 20 years in prison. That wouldn't help your families. It would ruin the family. So in the future, please be careful. You and your loved ones, be blessed, be well, be safe. Mr. Appel, Mr. Marr, thank you for your advocacy as always. And you guys have a good Thanksgiving, but don't gobble.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I need to mention something to you. On Mr. Watson's case, he lives in Arlington, Texas, so that wasn't on record or mentioned on record, Your Honor.
Okay.
So may we have him reside in that county and report virtually through Zoom to Bear County?
That is the order of the court. Mr. Watson, you are authorized to live in, what is the county, Dallas County or what?
Tarrant County.
Tarrant County. Defendant to reside in Tarrant County, you're not to move from there without the informing and having the court approve it. You are to report virtually, but you still have to visit with Ms. Luna this afternoon or what time is it? No, this morning. All right. Anything else,
Yeah.
Ms. Luna?
No, that's it, Your Honor. I'll talk to the two
Mr.
gentlemen.
Mr. Watson.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
You'll be pulling them into the breakout room yourself, Ms. Luna?
Yes, I'm gonna put them in the breakout room.
all right. What else we got? Now, have we ever identified who the gentleman is that persists in wearing a hat in the courtroom?
No, Judge, I tried sending him a chat, but I don't think he's getting that either.
Okay, well, he's not going to get any help from this court, especially since he's obviously knows what's being said. He knows I don't want him wearing a hat in a proceeding, but he's still wearing it. That's okay with me. All right, anything else? Anything else? Ms. Medrano,
Yes, Judge.
I see at least 3 different people. I see Paul Acevedo said.
Judge, I'm present. I'm having problems with my computer, Judge. I'm gonna back out and sign in with another computer, but y'all should have the plea paperwork ready on Sergio Martinez.
Where have you been all morning, Mr. Acevedo?
Judge, I gotta go to the courthouse.
Mr. Martinez never showed up.
No, he's here, Your Honor, with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just went over the paperwork. We signed it and we sent it back.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay. So where have you been all morning, Paul?
Judge, I'm sorry, I can't hear a word. I'm having problems with my computer. I can't hear anything.
It's 11:52 a.m. This is the first time I hear from you, and my question is, where have you been all morning?
Judge, I've been on several Zooms. I was in civil presiding. I was in County Court 11, but I think I signed in here. I've been signed in since when?
Okay. Well,
I've been signed in since about 9:30.
You're gonna have to wait till after lunch for your plea, if it's ready.
Okay.
Judge, I'm not gonna be able to. I have to leave to the courthouse right now to go do some of my daily reports, so I'm not gonna be able to do that.
Okay.
I mean, we can recall them for Monday.
What do we have on, is his paperwork already completed?
I don't know that, Judge. If he said he signed it and his client signed it, then I believe it should be with you.
It's a judgment satisfied, Your Honor, subject to your approval.
Let me take a quick look. Oh, excuse me. What's your client's name, Paul?
Sergio Martinez.
Sergio.
Will you do me a favor? Will you go sign in on my computer? Yeah. Cool.
I found it. It is with the
Yeah, where are they?
Adobe.
We're gonna take the plea with
Nicole, I think Mr. Contreras can leave, right? He was reset for next Tuesday or something? Or recall for Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Contreras, you can leave.
sign me in over there.
He's on mute. You're on mute, sir.
Okay, thank you. My attorney hasn't told me anything, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, Nicole's a coordinator, so she said you can go.
You
Okay,
can
thank
go. Yes,
Thanks, Nicole.
you're welcome.
Nicole.
Yes.
I am signing in on my other computer because this one I'm having problems hearing. So as soon as I get the other one on, will you let me in?
Yes, is Judge gonna want to go ahead and do it right now?
I couldn't understand. My computer was going out when the judge was talking. I'm sorry.
Judge, are we gonna go forward with this plea?
Yeah, this plea is a JSAT. It'll take a few minutes.
Judge, could I have my case recalled for next week?
Which one's that one?
Isaac Celestino.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
Where were these, Angela?
What day is available? Tuesday would that be available?
I'll get in over there.
What's your case number, Mr. Hunt?
Look here.
658-826.
Celestino cases, yes.
Next Tuesday, Mr. Hunt.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've signed over the papers. They should be going back and forth now. Ms. Medrano, let me know when the papers are ready on Paul's client.
Judge, I'm sorry, I don't know that. Patty's the one who sent the paperwork, so I can't see any of that status. Paul, did he already sign it? I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Yes.
He signed it, so you should already have it, Judge.
Well, we can give it a shot. If we can't, there's a problem later, that'll be up to Paul to clear up.
Okay, Judge.
What's the case number again?
Case number is 585663.
Judge, he has two on the docket. He also has 585661. We'll be proceeding with the plea on 6-3. State will dismiss 6-1.
585663, we're gonna do or not? Which one are we doing? State?
I'm sorry, Judge, what?
On Sergio Martinez, which one are we doing?
We're gonna do the plea on 585663.
Okay. And what's the charge on that case?
Reckless driving, Your Honor.
It's what?
Reckless driving.
Okay. All right. At this time, the court calls case number 585663, State of Texas versus Sergio Martinez. The charge is reckless driving. Mr. Martinez is accompanied by Paul Acevedo. And obviously represented by him. Mr. Martinez, would you raise your right hand?
Your other right hand.
Your other right, that one. You solemnly swear that the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez, there you go, put your hand down. Mr. Martinez, you were charged with reckless driving. It's my understanding that you've made an agreement with the state on a plea bargain. In exchange for that plea bargain, they will make recommendations concerning punishment, if any. Before we do that, you need to know that there's some basic rights and protections that you are allowed by our country. First of all, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
Very good. You have the right to remain silent. That means you don't have to make any kind of statement. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit written paperwork that has your signature. You have the right to a jury trial. That means you and your attorney and participation with the state would select 6 citizens from a panel of disinterested jurors, U.S. citizens who would hear all the evidence, testimony, whatever is submitted in your case, and they would decide or could decide whether you're not guilty or proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. You have the right to confront witnesses. If you go to trial, the state would have to try and prove you guilty by using testimony. You and your attorney would have the right to question, cross-examine, or challenge every witness. You have the right to appeal. That means that once a case is over, you and your attorney or individually would have the right to demand that a higher court review the official record, all the evidence in this case, and decide whatever legal challenges you wanted to make. The right to appeal is a little bit difficult because it's somewhat technical on form and substance, and you have time limitations, but nonetheless, that is a right. You also have the right to demand that this proceeding be held in the open public courtroom. Because of the COVID pandemic, we're not doing that, but nonetheless, in order to proceed, it is my observation that you have signed, and I ask you now, did you in fact review and sign a document, a paper that says defendants consent to video conference as opposed to the hearing in the open public courtroom? Did you sign such a paper?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. Also, there are other documents that you have signed, including one that's titled Defendants Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. That document has in it a bunch of repetitions in writing of the rights and protections that you have that we've among them we've discussed just now, but it also has rights and protections and information that is very important. Did you review that document with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand the document?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand and sign it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there's another document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. That document is a document where I, as a judge, certify to you and tell you that because you're participating in a plea bargain, as part of the plea bargain, you are giving up your right to appeal. Did you understand that and sign it?
Yes, sir.
Right. All these papers that are in the file that are this part of this hearing, did your attorney help you with them and guide you in understanding and signing those papers?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, there's a paper called a plea agreement. That one has it says what you're pleading to, what you're pleading, and it talks about the punishment that y'all have agreed the state will recommend to me. Now, one of the papers has already told you that whatever deal you made with the state, I don't have to follow it. I do have to say yes or no. And I also have to decide on punishment, whether I accept the recommendation of the state or not. If I give you a punishment that's heavier or greater than what the state has agreed to recommend, then you have the right. And also, if I reject your deal outright, so it's reject your deal, or if I give you a heavier punishment, in either case, the law would allow you to start all over again and nothing you've said or signed would be used against you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. State, tell me, is there any motion?
No motions, Judge.
All right. To the charge of reckless driving, Mr. Martinez, how do you plead?
Yes, sir. No contest. No contest.
Mr. Martinez's voice changed all of a sudden. Mr. Martinez, how do you plead?
No contest.
All right. A plea of no contest is considered a guilty plea in this court. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And it is sufficient for me so that I can convict you based on that alone. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
State, what are you recommending by way of punishment?
Your Honor, the agreement is 30 days, Bear County Jail, $200 fine, time and money to run concurrent, credit for time served, and we would ask that this satisfy the judgment.
That is the agreement as we understand it, Your Honor.
Okay, 30 days, Bear County Jail, $200 fine plus court costs. Then what?
That time and money run concurrent and that he get credit for time served.
And it is JSAT?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I accept the agreement and the recommendation of the state. You're sentenced to 30 days, Bear County Jail, a fine of $200 plus court costs. I grant you the time and money run concurrent. You're granted credit for time served. The court finds that you have satisfied this judgment and you owe nothing further. On this case numbers 585663, you owe nothing further to the state of Texas or to this court. Any questions, Mr. Martinez?
No, sir.
Mr. Acevedo?
No, sir, Your Honor.
All right. It is 12:09, time for lunch. Anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor, and I appreciate you taking the plea before lunch. And I apologize to everybody.
Okey doke.
You owe us all lunch.
Oh, well, then, okay.
All of you take
Cookies
care.
or something.
Be blessed, be well, be safe. Have a good weekend.
Judge, if I don't see you next week, have a happy
Bye, Judge.
Thanksgiving.
Have a good weekend.
Did anybody ever find out what Moto G Pure is? Or puree?
Judge.
Okay.
Judge, are you gonna block out any time during Christmas?
Probably yes. And let's think about it over the next couple of days.
Okay,
But it's probably going to be yes.
okay, just checking.
All righty.
Okay, thank
Have a good
you.
lunch, folks.
You too. Bye, everybody.
Judge, hang on a second, if you don't mind. Everybody else can go.
All right.
I don't know who's Stafford, oh, yeah. Cooper.
I'm sorry, what?
Stafford Cooper, who's that?
Hello.
He's the one that, okay, he's the one that had an attorney that is on medical and needs to be reappointed. Mr. Cooper, I had sent you a chat requesting your phone number so that I could call you. Let me stop this YouTube.
He's on the